So, I know that's a really lame, but Wikipedia probably has a really good explanation.
Well, I hope I'm not burdening you too much, but
Burden away.
can you actually cool the sensor itself so it doesn't read extra amount of heat?
Well, you can't, the question is, can you just cool the sensor itself or cool the surrounding air around the sensor? And right off the bat, the answer would be yes, you can do that, and it will affect. However, the problem is these oxygen sensors are calibrated. They're a precision instrument. And so to come up with something else that will cool the air in a calibrated, linear fashion and in a controlled fashion is going to be much more difficult than simply modifying the voltage that the oxygen sensor produces. Does that make sense? It's a way to do it, but it's probably a very complicated way to do it, as opposed to let's just change the voltage because we know, that's an easy thing to change, to modify. Yes, sir?
Go back to talking about all the data on all the different vehicles. You've heard of all data.
Yes.
On their website, you can buy individual subscriptions for individual cars.
Yes.
Within that subscription is the parameters for that particular vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they must have all parameters.
Not exactly. The data that I'm talking of is data that does not exist, and here's why. Because in all data, they don't have the voltage change of the oxygen sensor based on the amount of hydrogen you're injecting.
No, that's correct.
Okay.
But they do have the procedures for testing the individual components. And so they give you the range.
Right, but AutoZone.com does too.
No, well, AutoZone, I work for AutoZone. AutoZone
talk.
owns all that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why they're connected that way. They bought them.
Right.
But you have the testing procedures, therefore you have the parameters.
Well, you have the operating parameters of the sensor of the normal operating conditions.
Right.
Once you inject the variable, which is like,
Well, you're talking about both.
you just kick
Yeah.
it out of the system.
Okay.
And the question is, does a website like AllData have the parameter data that I was talking about to create this public database that has the parameters that all of us need to modify the sensors appropriately to get the gains? And the answer is no, because what we're looking for isn't the operating test parameters, but what we're looking for is for
The after effect of injecting it.
Right.
Variable unknown, which is hydrogen and oxygen.
the after effects of injecting the hydrogen and oxygen into the engine, and what is the percentage of change, or even just a direct voltage measurement change that needs to be modified in order to bring the air-fuel mix ratio back down to where it's supposed to be. So that data doesn't exist. In other words, what I mentioned earlier is actually probably a pretty huge undertaking. But if we all group together, we can accomplish that very easily. We can get that information and we can put it in a centralized database. By doing that, then what have we just done? We've taken our industry literally a millennium leap forward, because then we have the information we need to create the proper systems for HHO, so that when the reporters get a hold of this, when Mythbusters gets a hold of this, when all these other guys get a hold of stuff, then we can say, okay, but this is how you have to install it, and this is what has to be done. Or if we've already got that information, we have that database, then I can just say, well, download the S70 parameters into my Hyperlinks, and then install that Mythbusters, and it's going to work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got one more question. Do you want everybody to email it to your email address?
My email box is full all the time.
Actually, there are people like Fody that has Alternative Energy Show. He has a good site. He gets a lot of hits, a lot of information. So
I
more people
second
can
you.
get together in there.
No, everybody can sign on to the site and write your own data. It's all free. Nobody pays for any of it. It's just write your own data into the site. Just sign up and enter your data. And when we collectively get the data together, it can be analyzed.
All right, let's summarize this. How many of you guys think that's a great idea? Yeah. Right? So, know, everyone you talk to, I know not all the HHO vendors are here in America or all over the world, but I say we make a hard push at making that happen, because to me, in developing the hyperlinks and getting the parameters right, and the other iffy manufacturers that are here, I'm sure all of us will agree, that's the toughest part. If we have the parameters already, it's going to be a lot easier. And for the HHO installers that have to adjust the IFIs, that's the toughest part. If you know what you're shooting for, you can adjust it for that. And just like, you know, when you go to AutoZone, you say, I need a part for this particular vehicle and this engine size, it's already in their computer. They just look it up and they go grab the right part. The same thing for parameters and settings. If we have that information, then we can set this stuff up, and guess what? Everybody's HHO system that can conform to those parameters is going to work, and it's going to work right. And we're going to stop getting these people saying, oh, that doesn't work, because they just didn't install it right or it wasn't set up right. You see what I'm getting at? Any more questions?
Do you want to put your website up there? Why don't you put that up there?
No, just.
Bodie's the man. Bodie, 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 Bodie.
You want the microphone?
Sign on.
Want the microphone?
Hey, Spody,
It's all good.
Spody, when they sign up, tell them to put their information on it.
Yeah, when you sign up, it's a web paint wiki, it's free. Just enter the site and enter your data. Be your own writer, write your data into your page.
Yeah, too many of you
Create your
guys
own page.
aren't writing anything on there.
Go ahead.
Too many of them aren't writing anything on there. I
Yeah.
don't know how to get a hold of them or anything.
No, the wet paint, energyshowandtell.wetpaint.com.
That's the wrong one?
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Energy show and tell.
Yeah, energy show and
Here, I'll let you write it. It's a really long website. So then the next thing is, okay, we got an idea here. We have to be actively involved in order to make this happen. So what we need to do, I think we should set up some sort of parameters, and a very easy thing to do is to just say, you know, for this much hydrogen, this particular vehicle, got to get the basic parameters, the vehicle, the engine size, I think is all we really need. And then the amount of hydrogen and what the sensors need to be adjusted to, what percentage they need to be adjusted to. Looks like it's energyshowandtell.wetpaint.com. Everybody have that? Great. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for listening to me. You guys have a great day.